Good morning. I'm Dwayne Nash. I'm a family practitioner who lives in the Austin area who recently retired from medical reasons in December of last year after 25 years of medical practice. I have a website for my blog called organicgreendoctor.com. In the blog, I write about organic green living, organic gardening, uh, I write about recycling, rainwater harvesting, solar power, medical topics, Alzheimer's disease, duct tape, planking, and anything else I may find interesting or amusing. I do organic gardening. I make my own compost myself, or I may buy it from a local organic nursery in the Austin area. I use no chemical fertilizers or pesticides on my property. I try to only use local native plants. I've tried to preach the gospel on organic gardening as much as possible. We grow a lot of our own vegetables and do so in the hot summer or the cold winter. We also collect rainwater as our only source of water for the home, garden, and landscape. We have over 30,000 gallons of capacity. We've learned how to conserve water at home. And despite one of the worst droughts in our history here, we still have rainwater left. We also produce, via solar panels, about 40% of the electricity that we use. We've learned to conserve electricity, and we're always looking for ways to conserve more. We recycle everything we can. We have a local volunteer recycling location near us in a small town where we live, and we take all of our recycling there. I plan to recycle my organs when I die. I also will be donating my brain to an Alzheimer's research center in Dallas when I die. In my medical practice, I graduated and did my family practice residency at the University of Arkansas Medical School and in Little Rock. After that, I worked in a small town in southern Arkansas for 3 years as their only doctor in order to fulfill a 3-year federal obligation. After living there, I lived near or around the Austin area, practicing there until my medical retirement in December. What I realized the last few years of my practice is that it's more important to know the patient, know their family, know where they worked, know what they thought, to shake their hand and pat them on the back, and just listen to them. And that was more important than what I ordered or what prescriptions I wrote for them. And I hated to leave practice because I just got good at what I do after all those years. However, 2 years ago, I applied for long-term care insurance because I had a family history of Alzheimer's disease. My mom had moderate to severe disease. My father had moderate Alzheimer's disease. And my younger brother, he now has moderate Alzheimer's disease. And I wanted to have the long-term care insurance in place in case I needed it. For the long-term care insurance, I passed a 30-minute neuropsychological exam. And I passed it and I got my long-term care insurance. And then a year later, I tried to enter an Alzheimer's research study at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas. And I was going to be in the normal control group. However, during the initial evaluation, I failed the neuropsychological test as I had developed some short-term memory loss. When looking back over the previous months, I had noticed a problem, but my wife, my nurse, my colleagues, my patients, my family, my friends, they had not noticed anything. I met with a neurologist there who reviewed my history and my test and my family history, and I was given the diagnosis of mild cognitive impairment, amnestic type, that was felt to probably be from Alzheimer's disease. I was started that day on Aricept, donepezil is a generic name, and it's used in early Alzheimer's disease. My mom took it, and my brother is on it now. I never returned to practice after that visit for fear of causing harm to my patients. I'm in a 5-year study now at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical School called ADNI, which stands for Alzheimer's Disease Neuroimaging Initiative. I've had tests to rule out other causes of short-term memory loss. MRIs, ultrasound of the carotids, blood counts, glucose tests, electrolytes, kidney function tests, liver function tests, vitamin B12 levels, syphilis tests, HIV tests, hepatitis tests, thyroid tests, depression tests, and all are normal or negative. For the study that I'm in now, I've had these same labs done and they were negative. Also for the study, I had genetic tests, a spinal tap analysis, an MRI, a PET scan of the brain for glucose metabolism, and a PET scan of the brain for amyloid deposits. However, these I will never see the results of as they are part of the study, even if they are abnormal. It's part of the deal when I signed up for the study. With this diagnosis of early mild cognitive impairment amnestic type, these PET scans initially will be mildly positive and then eventually will be diffusely positive throughout the brain. This neuropsychological tests I've had with this study show a persistent deficit in short-term memory loss. I did genetic tests myself for the Alzheimer's gene APO4 through my primary care doctor, and it showed I have the double hit homozygous APO4/APO4 genotype. If you have one single APO4 gene, you have a 10 to 40% chance of getting Alzheimer's disease in your lifetime. If you have the double genotype, the double hit, the homozygous, like I have, you have a 50 to 90% chance of getting Alzheimer's disease in your lifetime. I also had spinal fluid analysis for the tau protein and for beta amyloid through my primary care doctor. These levels are abnormal in Alzheimer's disease. My tau tests were indeterminate as they were slightly below the lower limits for Alzheimer's disease. However, my amyloid levels were low in the spinal fluid, which is compatible with Alzheimer's disease. What this means again is I have early mild cognitive impairment, amnestic type, thought to be from Alzheimer's disease. The Aricept I'm on will slow down the symptoms for a while, but then eventually it quits working. It does nothing to stop the disease from progressing, as the disease just keeps marching on. I know I have it now. And I guess I'm lucky that I know earlier than most people do. My wife and I have had time to prepare ourselves for what's coming. Neither my brother, nor his wife, nor either my parents ever got a chance to prepare for what was coming to them. I would be glad to take questions for as long as you want to allow me to answer them today. You can also go to my blog website, organicgreendoctor.com, to read about this and more if you would like. I'll be glad to answer questions about organic gardening, green living, and my medical practice, but I especially would like for you to ask questions about Alzheimer's disease. My goal is to educate people about this terrible disease. Thank you.